Alright guys, I knew I was getting low on primers, but you can't take this out until you know the primers are down out of that chute, and you can't see that far. You can't see that far down in there, so the only way to do it is to, now everybody remember, when you're using this, a lot of people don't like it. I can't say I hate it or love it, but when you slide it from open up to lock the lid shut, see right there, a primer came out. Once you lock the lid shut, you need to move that down just a little bit where it's still in lock mode. The lid won't come open, but that primer can't come out. So when you go to put it on there, it comes out. Maybe that's why people don't like it. Let's get this primer out of my T-track here. That T-track is nice, except it makes a spot where stuff can fall to. So now I just pushed that up, boom, and we kind of went to its stop for lock. I know I'm holding it upside down, but I don't want the primers to fall out. Where if you take and push it, you see how it just jumps into like it's not stuck up towards on. If you squeeze the lid a little bit, you can really feel it. There's like some free play. Make sure you're as close to open as you can in that free play, where it's still holding the lid shut. And now your primer shouldn't be able to leak past there. There's a very tight tolerance they have in there for something I don't think that needs to be nearly as tight. They could have had a lot more travel. And then I'm going to reach over here, turn her on again, because I had a space at the top. And you can see we've got the shell plate almost around here to where we would be checking powder levels, what I plan on doing, or a bullet feeder. I'm going to check powder level the old-fashioned way. Actually take the powder and dump it out and put it in the scale and see. Now if I had an electronic scale or something here, I could maybe weigh the casings, know exactly what's dead on, guys. Know exactly what the casings weigh and zero it. And then when I want to check a charge, I could just take the casing out there, set it on there, see what it is. If it's good, put it back over and save myself that little step. But I don't. I didn't catch and see that if a primer came over on the shuttle that time. I do. See, now I let go of the handle and everything turned on me. And there's no convenient way to back up. Now we messed up. I was hoping the handle would stay there, but it didn't. Because I don't believe, even if I take this rod out, that I can get it turned backward. We're going to find out together, guys. Okay, well, I got it to turn backward. I don't really know what allowed that to turn backward, but loosening the bushing up there so I could lift that rod up and down a couple times allowed me to turn backwards. So now I can keep going up. Get a powder charge, seat the bullet. Make sure we go the whole way down and get primed. Crimp, get powder charge. Here we got two coming over, and that one there. Now, me personally, I always like to go the whole way down and seat the primer before I let go and decide to do something else. Like I want to check this one for length. Now that I'm doing all these, I got all the shell plates or all the positions filled. I want to make sure that my bullet ain't a little bit long, or cartridge ain't a little long. And that is the minimum seating depth that I'm seating it to, and it did grow by about 4.5 thousandths with everything full, and I'm used to that. It always seems like whenever I go around with one single cartridge in to set it up, now I will do it the way you're supposed to. To gain a little bit more. I forgot to put bullets on. I got a powder charge cartridge case over here in the crimp position. Well, a mess up like that gives me a good opportunity to weigh the powder charge. make sure everything's functioning properly and I'm getting exactly what I expect. So now I can put a bullet on there, and in all reality I can put a bullet on there, but I won't. So this one here is already primed, so we can't drop that back in unless we'll do it at the end, because then we won't try to seat a primer in it. And we're trying to pay attention to what we're doing this time. So we seated the primer, we let it jump back up. The springs pull my press up just a little bit, so we know we're going on the way up to get our powder charge, our flare, seat our bullet. That one there came down upside down. Before we do anything else, we go front and make sure we seat our primer. I cannot see in that position. Our powder looks good. I could also put my camera in here. I have a bore camera. Could also put my camera in there to visually see the powder that's being put in. Alright, so we're gonna put a bullet in place. Put a bullet in place. I feel like I could use a little more flare now that we're doing everything. We seat our primers because we know we're coming up. Well, there we let it run empty, so we're going to have a skipper. We're going to seat that primer. And in all reality, we could place this one that's primed in this spot, as long as we pay attention. Alright, we're going up. Double feed there. Like I said, I could have my camera right here looking in. Now this is the one that's going to the station to be primed right now is the one that does not need primed, so we ain't gonna go the whole way down. Place our bullet on there. We're ready to go back up. Now we need to prime this next case. So we will go the whole way down and seat a primer. Powder's right on the money. Seat primer. Now we got empty dang hole again. Well, we got one sitting up on top. We'll bring it in. Seat the primer. Place a bullet. primer, place a bullet, projectile, whatever you want to call it. Seed primer. Alright guys, here's what we made up here so far. Some 300 hammers, 150 grain bullet, CFE black powder, nothing crazy fast, relatively mild load. Around 21 BHN is the lead, and it's powder coated. So we'll have to shoot them and see how they group. I know they perform well, and I know they group really decent, but I've been really slacking off with my work in that area, if you want to call that work. Trying to film it is work, I'll tell you that. For YouTube, for you guys. I mean, obviously I do this because I sort of find it fun, but I'm trying to help people out at the same time. As another gentleman that I saw on YouTube said, and I do have to kind of agree with him, Lee makes wonderful products and terrible instructions. So I'm just trying to make up some of the gap there. But we're going to dump some more empty casings in here, and I'm going to keep going till I run out of components. Me and, like I said, you see in the other video, I worked on making these, I don't know, made about 100 of them. Let's see if they're going to go in here or go all over the place. Well, they went in. Oh, except for that one. That one in the corner, must be a plastic tab there in the way. Work our collator here a little bit. Like I said, it works really well. It works really well if it's full enough, but not too full, that you want the stuff to be able to turn around up there. And once it starts getting emptier, then they don't want to come down. So here we don't have nothing in. Starting, look at that, double feed. They're so eager to become loaded cartridges and go get shot. Alright, we're setting the primer, and you'll feel how as you go around here and get more and more positions filled, it'll get a little harder to work the press. Takes a little more force to, force is the wrong word. You should never need force. Pressure, maybe, is the right word. I do like that this press primes at the bottom of the stroke instead of at the top like the Loadmaster did. Basically all your operations happened up at the top with the Loadmaster. I do have to say that I like the priming being, but that's the only thing that's happening down there. So you can kind of feel it and you get used to what it should feel like and what it shouldn't feel like, what's right and what's not. Oh, there we let it get empty again. I don't keep my eye on that. I'm watching everything else. And I don't, it's right there in front of my face. You think it would be easy to see, or at least easy to monitor. Oh, there. The reloading gods gave us a double feed that we can put in place of that one we missed. When the case feeder got empty. There, double fed another one. Just don't have enough up there. So now I don't know what I did. I do not know what I did. I stopped at the wrong place. Now that bullet ain't seated, so I'm on the way up. Why, unless there's a problem, I always stop here, because if I stop anywhere else, then I don't know what the heck is going on. So we'll keep a close eye on, we just seated the primer in that one, so this is the one that possibly has a different powder charge. So that one, we're going to keep a close eye on that one as it works its way around, and we're going to definitely look in there, and if anything seems a little unusual, nope, it looks okay, but that's a good time to, let's make sure it's okay. I had the last one I checked still in the pan there. I wish this camera had a panoramic, whatever. We'll cut that out. The wide view. Panoramic. That's the word I was looking for. Right on the money. So let's get our funnel here, and we're going to put that one right back in. Put it right back in the press. so it can continue its journey around. We just seated a primer, which is why we always stop at this position. Seat the primer. Now we let go of the handle. Alright guys, well this here is going to be more of the same. Alright guys, there we go. We got a bunch of them done up here. Remember, which way we got to vote at the polling office to be able to continue to enjoy our wonderful pastime and freedoms and sport that we enjoy in this country, and the rights that are guaranteed by our Constitution. Just remember, milk comes from a mammary gland, nowhere else. And if vegetarian food was so wonderful, why would they continue to attempt to make it look like regular food? Because deep in the core of your being, your body knows you're supposed to be eating that stuff. Now we're going to put these in this box just to have some place to store them. Obviously this box has something else in there. Same powder charge, seated to a different length. Everything else is the same except for they've got Hornady 150 grain full metal jackets in there. Well, these obviously are very easy to be able to tell which one's which in this configuration. If you can't tell, the difference between the rounds in this box then maybe you have difficulty telling the difference between boys and girls too. And if that's the case, I find it really shocking that you're watching my channel, because we are definitely have different views on the world. Extremely different. in my opinion, your view's wrong. And I'm sure in your opinion, my view's wrong. But that's part of what is so great about this country, is we're allowed to have different opinions. We're allowed to live different lives. Live different lives. As long as we're not hurting anybody, as long as we're not suppressing somebody else's rights, you have the freedom to do that in this country. Live differently than your neighbor. Have a different view, have a different thought than your neighbor. That's not the way it is in other countries. Yep, I don't have a problem with people having a different view on things or a different way of life. I might disagree with you, but don't try to make me live your way. And certainly don't try to make me participate in your illusions. This whole, these people thinking they're a cat, and alright, well, we're gonna stop that before I say something that gets this video banned. Hey, remember, go out and shoot, enjoy our sport, enjoy our pastime, enjoy our God-given rights that the Constitution protects, and pass it on to the neighbor. Take a friend shooting, get them hooked on the sport. That way they might